Coming up on today's show, we will take another look at Chiefs versus Eagles. The Super Bowl Sunday is upon us. But if you want Kansas City to take home another Lombardi trophy, if you want the Chiefs to win Super Bowl 57, then hit the like button on today's video. If we don't get at least 1,000 likes on today's show, the Kingdom isn't that interested in this game. At least that's how I see it. So like this video if you want the Chiefs to win Super Bowl 57. Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I am Harrison Graham. We are still live at Radio Row as Super Bowl Sunday is almost here. And on today's show, we're going to get to some keys to victory from yours truly, and you will also hear from a select few Chiefs players. Earlier in the week, I got to speak to 8 or 9 of the Chiefs players, and they gave their thoughts on this matchup. We got clips from 4 of those guys coming up on today's show, so this should be a fun one. Stay tuned, and I will give my official score prediction later on in the show, so be on the lookout for that. Key number 1, you got to stop Hassan Reddick. Point blank, simple. Hassan Reddick is a game changer for this matchup in this Eagles defensive line. He's got 19.5 sacks this year, 3.5 sacks in the playoffs. He has been a menace, and he's been hard to stop. He can win with power. He can win with speed. And at times, these offensive tackles for Kansas City have had trouble. Obviously, Andrew Wiley, has limitations talent-wise. And Orlando Brown's been a bit up and down, although he's been better in the second half of the season. I got to speak with Orlando Brown, and he talked about this matchup of taking on Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, man, he's a really good player. He does a really good job using his hands well. I feel like he's very comfortable in the system as well. They allow him to play. Jim rush freely, and he's done an amazing job this season within the system and within his talents, man, showing up and showing out.
I think in general, the way I see this game is it's a trenches game. This is a matchup that's going to be won and lost in the trenches. Now, I want to be careful with that general statement of if one team slightly wins in the trenches over the other, that doesn't mean the team that slightly loses it can't win the game. But if one group is more dominant than the other, that's going to make it tough. And if either side has a better chance of being more dominant in the trenches, it is Philadelphia. The Chiefs' offensive line is pretty good. It's not excellent, but it is pretty good. Very good in the interior. Chiefs' defensive line is pretty good as well, but the Eagles' D-line is loaded. Their offensive line is great. So, obviously, the trenches are a big thing to monitor in this matchup. Now, are you concerned about the Eagles' defensive line? One of the best we've ever seen. They're on a historic pace this year in terms of sacks. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Let me know in the comments if you are concerned about that front four for Philadelphia. Key number 2 here, rookie cornerbacks are confident. That's something I took away from talking to Trent McDuffie, Jaylen Watson, and Joshua Williams. Got to speak to all 3 of them, and you'll hear from a couple of them here. They are not lacking in swagger. Let's hear from Jaylen Watson first here as he feels like he's ready for this opportunity.
During training camp, I feel like we're playing the best quarterback in the league. So, just playing against that offense and being able to hold my own, I knew I could play in the league.
Do you guys take pride in kind of, you got these trio of rookies, you, Trent, Josh Williams, obviously Sneed's a third-year guy, but he's young as well. But I think there's some talk that, young secondary, they're not supposed to be here playing at this level. Do you guys talk about that? Do you guys feel like you are supposed to be here this early?
Yeah, we definitely do. And we're always going to feel overlooked because you have Pat on the other side of the ball, so he's going to get so much attention. Even if the defense playing good, that means the offense is probably going to put up 40, so we still wouldn't get any credit. But we're just going to always hold our head down, keep going to work, and just try to feed off the doubt.
Do want to provide an update on L'Jarius Sneed as well. He tweaked his knee in Thursday's practice, according to reports. Remember, he had cleared concussion protocol, a concussion he suffered in the AFC Championship game. Popped up on the injury report on Thursday with the knee issue, was listed as limited, but Ian Rappaport says he should be good to go. No major concern there. But the good news is even if there is a problem, if something pops up, we saw in the AFC Championship game when he did go down with that concussion, who steps in? Joshua Williams. If called upon, Joshua Williams, who has played a lot this year, he's ready to go as well.
I'm not going to lie to you. I always felt that way, especially just me coming in to camp and getting the coaching. I felt like, I could come in here and compete. And a lot of, just having that confidence is having good guys around you. But There's definitely a learning curve with that. Knowing I can come in and compete doesn't mean anything if, I'm still giving up touchdowns. So there's a learning curve that comes with it, and a lot of that was gradual, that learning curve, just getting adjusted to the league and used to the flow of the game. That takes time and experience, and there was no just click for that. That was more so just, game by game, step by step.
You really have to admire this young group this year. I mean, obviously, Trent McDuffie, the first-round pick, we knew he was going to play a big role, but even he went down with an injury earlier in the year, which caused guys like Watson and Williams to step in. I asked Jaylen Watson about that 99-yard pick six and if that was a turning point for him, and he said no. He just felt in training camp that he belonged at this level. Well, he has 2 picks in the playoffs. Williams had a pick against Cincinnati. These guys have stepped up in a major way. A first-round pick, a fourth-round pick, a seventh-round pick. Brett Veach finding 3 starting-level corners in this past draft, and they're all going to be called upon on Super Bowl Sunday. Today's show is sponsored by BetUS, our sportsbook partner who's been with us all year and for the past couple of seasons, and there's nothing better than Super Bowl Sunday when it comes to being a sports bettor. I mean, prop bets, game matchups, over-unders, it's all fantastic. Get started with BetUS today, chatsports.com/ChiefsBet, and get that promo deal, 125% deposit bonus, plugging in the code. It's Chiefs125. We're continuing our jersey giveaway deal, and then we're going to bring producer Sam on the mic. He's got some prop bets that he really likes. But follow these steps first if you want a chance to win a jersey from us, not from BetUS, from us. Chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Use the promo code to get started. You must deposit at least $100, but hey, you're going to get $125 for free with that promo code. Then you got to place a bet of any kind. It could be a $5 bet here, $10 bet there. It doesn't matter. Once you do all of that, email us, jersey@chatsports.com. We have some Patrick Mahomes jerseys available, Travis Kelce, potentially a few others, but for sure these 2 are in stock, so you will be able to choose from at least those 2 options. Email us, jersey@chatsports.com. It all starts by going to chatsports.com/ChiefsBet, using the promo code Chiefs125 and depositing that initial $100. All right, producer Sam Brown, he is our betting guru here at Chat Sports. Sammy, take it away. What are you looking at this Sunday?
First of all, I like how everyone has been calling me the betting guru, even though my record, I'm definitely sub 500. But it doesn't matter during the season. As long as you show up on Super Bowl Sunday, that's all that counts. I like these 5 bets a lot. Some of the Chiefs fans will probably know I don't bet unders. It's just it doesn't work. It shouldn't.
It's not your philosophy.
It shouldn't be a thing. Bet the over. Don't even think. Over 50.5 -117. Tails never fails. It failed last year, but it usually never fails. Tails never fails -105. Isaiah Pacheco over 14.5 receiving yards. I think we'll talk about Jerick McKinnon here in a little bit, but I think you're going to see Pacheco play a little bit more of a role in that passing game. Obviously, Mahomes maybe not 100%. Could see a few more of those checkdowns, and we've seen Pacheco take advantage of those opportunities
in the AFC Championship game. I think he had 59 receiving yards. So he
busted off that big catch.
He showed he's more than capable of being a weapon out of the backfield.
And I think it's a little underrated just because he hasn't had that impact earlier in the season.
Sure.
But now he was really starting to find his groove. I think 14.5. All it takes is one catch to get 15 yards. Devontae Smith, anytime touchdown. Devontae Smith has always been showing up in the big games. We talked about with Chase on the Eagles now how he had 210 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half of the national championship game. His last game at Alabama. I think that's a pretty safe bet in plus money. And then the Gatorade shower. The Gatorade shower, I'm not going to touch anything if it's like less than plus 200, just because it's pretty much a crapshoot. Like you always get those little rumors of, I think they've got the yellow Gatorade being filled up there. I'm going blue, plus 200. I think that's good value. They usually never go with the actual colors of the team's playings, so that kind of rules out red and a little bit of that yellow-greenish color to me. So I'm going to go blue at plus 200.
This is why the casinos keep getting built, because you got Sammy Betts throwing money on the Gatorade shower. But hey, if you like any of those props or any other ones, chatsports.com.
It's a special occasion.
/ChiefsBet. Promo code is Chiefs125. Follow the steps I mentioned before, and we will hook you guys up with a jersey. All right, a couple more keys here. You need Mahomes to be great. You just do. I mean, in the biggest games, you need your superstars to step up, and none bigger than Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, you need Kelce to play well. You need Chris Jones, but you need number 15 to deliver, especially if this is a game that does become more of a trenches game. If Philadelphia has the edge there, and it's possible that they will, well, Mahomes has to be the equalizer. He has to find a way. Now, if it's like Super Bowl 55 where Tampa is just so dominant and Kansas City literally cannot block, well, even even guys like Mahomes can only do so much. But if the Chiefs hold up long enough and at least give him a chance, he's got to be able to make a magical play or two. Magical Mahomes, right? I mean, that's what we call him sometimes. Obviously, the ankle is going to be something to monitor, but I thought he held up well against Cincinnati, made the late scramble, drew the late hit out of bounds to set up Harrison Butker. He's going to have to pick and choose his spots where he does use his legs to buy some time. He's got to be the equalizer if the Chiefs' offensive line doesn't always hold up in this one. And look, you compare him to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. He's a nice player. But at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes is the superior player. So if you look at this matchup and say the Eagles are better in the trenches, they've got a better overall roster, I may not disagree with that, but they've got an advantage at quarterback, and that can be a difference when it comes down to it at the end of the game, especially if it's tight late and you need number 15 to lead a drive. Patrick Mahomes needs to be great, and if he is, they're going to have a chance to win a Super Bowl. Subscribe and join us as we will be live back in our Chat Sports studios for Super Bowl Sunday. As of now, plan is to go live at 5 Eastern, 4 Central Time, 90 minutes before kickoff. Could move that up another half hour. We'll see. Subscribe, turn on notifications. You'll know exactly when we're going live. We will be live, like I said, at least an hour and a half early, getting you guys ready for kickoff. We'll take some of your questions. We'll have some fun. And then, of course, when the game starts, we'll have full play-by-play analysis and updates of Super Bowl 57. A couple more here. Chiefs must tackle well. Kansas City is actually a really good tackling team. In the past, that's been a problem, but this year, they actually tackle really well. Their secondary tackles well. L'Jarius Sneed's one of the best tackling corners I've ever seen. Thornhill and Reed are good tacklers, and the linebackers are really solid. Nick Bolton, Willie Gay. This team does tackle well. Well, more than any other game, this is a game you have to win in space. You can't let Jalen Hurts and these running backs be the ones that win in space. Sure, you're not going to make literally every single play, but a missed tackle against this group with this offensive line getting pushed up front, yeah, that's the difference in a 4-yard play and maybe a 44-yard play. So got to tackle well. Nick Bolton knows it. Talked to Nick Bolton earlier this week, gave his thoughts on just this subject.
Tackling out of space, man, it's probably more pivotal now than it has been all season, especially in the playoffs. Tackling is at a premium, and it's a lot of situational football that goes inside of that. And a 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 6 versus the philosophy of what they want to do is completely different. So again, it's going to be huge for us to be able to get them in 3rd down and longs, win them 1st down. And trying to get them into a 2nd down, almost a 3rd down, and how aggressive they are on offense. So it's just a lot of different things that go into it. We just got to be able to get them in 3rd down and longs, man, and let the line go to work.
Plain and simple, I think you need Bolton and Willie Gay to dominate this game. You may have to combine for 25 tackles. They've done it before. Nick Bolton's had several 15-plus tackle games this year. Shoot the gaps, make the play. That is just what it comes down to. The instinct's got to be good, and you got to tackle well. Fundamentals, bring these running backs and Jalen Hurts to the ground. Final key here, final thought. I think Jerick McKinnon's the X factor. I really do. McKinnon, late in the year, had emerged as the best all-around back on this team, the most relied upon. But then in the playoffs, we've seen more Isaiah Pacheco. And look, if Pacheco's the more heavily used back of this game and is effective, I got no problem with that. It's not like I'm rooting for McKinnon to get more opportunities. I just think with McKinnon's pass blocking ability, going up against this defensive line that can get pressure, they trust him in pass protection. And we've seen him be an elite weapon as a receiver coming out of the backfield. That's why he was named AFC Offensive Player of the Month for December and January. I think he's an X factor here. I think this matchup dictates that screen game. Routes out of the backfield and in pass protection, I think you'll see him get more opportunities, and he's shown that when he does get opportunities, he is able to take advantage of them. So there you go, Super Bowl 57. The stage is set. Eagles 1-point favorites as we're filming this. Over-under holding firm at 51 points. We'll see how much those lines and point totals shift between now and kickoff, but end of the day, it's going to be close. In the sports books, and I think on the field it's probably going to be a close game as well. So give me your score prediction down below. Chiefs, Eagles, who wins, and what is the final score going to be? Go ahead and drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Told you guys I'd predict it. I'm going Chiefs 27-24. Listen, most people that I have talked to at Radio Row this week they've leaned Philadelphia, and I get their reasons why. trenches, I think they're stronger. Overall roster, probably better. But I just think Mahomes is the difference. I just think the sizable advantage at quarterback is enough. Jalen Hurts, since that shoulder injury, hasn't looked the same. I get Mahomes is dinged up as well, but he played really well against Cincinnati. They left points out there. They should have scored 30-plus. Obviously, if you do that again, you could be in trouble. You got to maximize here. But I like Kansas City to get it done 27-24. I think it's going to be tight. Second Lombardi trophy in 4 years coming to Kansas City.
And that's the over.